Good afternoon, and welcome to Biospain 2021. We're back later at lunch, and I have a question. Do you know what will we eat in the future? Anyone? Anyone? Maybe here? Well, relax, because in the next panel, we are gonna find it out. They are gonna speak about what we'll be eating in 2030, all, of course, thanks to biotechnology. We are joined by the moderator of the panel discussion, Bosco Emparanza, CEO in MOA Foodtech, and the experts. They are Goyo Sanzol, CEO of Pentabiol, Inés Echeverría, Director of Research and Development and CNTA, the National Center for Food Safety and Technology, Mariano Otto, CEO at NUCAPS, Sabas de Diego, CTO and co-founder of Tebrio, and Javier Zaratiegui, CTO at Cocus System Ibérica. All of them are from Spain, so let me say muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos y estamos deseosos de conocer qué es lo que vamos a comer en 10 años. Gracias.
Thank you. So it's a great honor to be here presenting this session today. And as you know, the biotechnology has transformed many other industries like the pharmaceutical industry, and that's why we are here today in the Biospain. But the question is biotechnology going to transform the food industry? For example, many people in the world is talking about taking the animals out of the equation in the food industry. And I think that is a great example of what is happening in the food industry. And we have really great examples here today to talk about technology, biotechnology, and solutions for the future of food. So Javier, if you want to start with your solutions, what are you developing?
Yeah, thank you, Bosco. And thank you, Biospain, for having Cocus here. I'm Javier. I'm the CTO of Cocus. Cocus means chef or cook in Latin. We started in 2017, mostly based on giving engineering solutions and services to catering, to chefs, so developing machines for laser cutting and customizing products. And at some point, we joined an acceleration program, as every startup should, if they have the chance. And then we partnered with the National Center of Food Technology and Safety, and also with Eatable Adventures. And they saw we could manage different solutions, but we were not going to the main goal. And the goal is we are living in a world which is increasing its population. There will be a lack of resources, especially there is a huge rise on consumption of protein. So there are some of the most clever minds of the world are developing new solutions because otherwise we cannot feed the entire population. So we, as an engineer background and expertise, we didn't know about food, so we started to hire food experts, engineers, and such, and we try to develop machines that can speed up the process and increase the manufacturing capacities of what is in today's market. There are many companies developing hamburgers or little chicken fingers. Instead of that, we propose whole cuts, different technologies. And these are some of our examples, but our model is to develop the machine. So we prepare some recipes as a proof of concept of the machines themselves, and we try to approach 3 different solutions. What will be the machines, how the machine will work when we use plant-based proteins? What can we do if instead of that we use culture cells? And also there is most immediately for us, a startup, which is to use the leftovers of butters to produce some products like the first stick, which is that. So briefly, that is what we are doing in Cocus.
Javier. Could you hear what I explained, or was problem with the sound? So roughly that is that. So later we can have some questions.
Great. So now we have Inés from CNTA.
Yeah, thanks so much, Bosco. It's a pleasure to be here, really very well accompanied with all these really disruptive companies around. So at CNTA, we are a technological center. Perhaps the most special from CNTA is that we were created in the 80s, and this was an initiative of the food sector. So we were created under entrepreneurial association form. So really, food companies are in our board and also in our target. And as Javier said, we have the pleasure to have collaborated with Cocus and also with some of all these companies. But today, I wanted to emphasize the fact that with such challenges that the food sector has so far, mainly related with sustainability and really the worry about healthiness of food and how food can help really to improve the health of people. I would like today to introduce you to one a platform we are working on at this moment, and this is the Red Technomy Food, in which we are working in how to put some key enabling technologies like omics, artificial intelligence, and fast screening methods to really to support the food companies in the development of healthy foods. In this, this is the point, I mean, to put in place some technologies that so far have not been employed that much in the food sector, and in which we are sure that can help to increase the time to market of healthy foods, can improve the efficiency in the development, and most important, can give scientific evidence on the healthiness of food, and helping food companies in general, but especially SMEs and startups, to support their developments with this scientific evidence to help them to really go to really to the goal, which is to produce sustainable and healthy foods. Thank you. Well, very briefly, in this slide, you can see that we are putting in place different technologies. So we are putting together a platform with different in vitro and in vivo screening technologies based in cell culture and on different small animal models like zebrafish or C. elegans, but also working in the preclinical validation of foods and going up to the intervention studies, and really putting in place all this effort, this net, Technomy Food Net, is composed by 5 food tech centers in Spain, and we are trying really to bring to food companies these capabilities to help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. Now we have Goyo from Pentaviol.
Well, first of all, we are very grateful to be here with this kind of companies, much more than the majority of them are from here, from Navarra, so it's important for us. And more if these companies are working really in the same goal that we have at this moment, that is working the future of the food for the people. Well, Pentaviol, the principal work or the principal objectives is development that the products that is known at this moment as postbiotics. It's really easy and it's really difficult. We isolate different microorganisms to get different specifications that they understand that they are good or they are apport qualities for the capacity of the digestibility of the animals. As I said, it's very simple, but also it's very difficult because the key, the secret of this improve of the digestibility of the animals is very important to get 2 principal goals for that, for the livestock farms. At the moment, the traditional increase, but the natural capacity of the production of the animals is very important, but Also, I insist in the natural capacity. We aren't speak about production machines, please. And in the other side, is an executive principle of the improve of the animal health. We get through this better digestibility, the stimulation of the immunitary defenses of the animals to get, or as pioneer in this way, to reduce the application of the antibiotics, at least in the preventive applications. Because please don't forget that antibiotic is good, but it's only to get a therapy or to apply it to solutionate a pathology against any pathogens. Pentaviol was founded in 2014, but in 2015 we began to think that, well, when we done the first trials in the country, we observed that the improvements of the production, well, was good, the principal, at this moment, objective for the company. But the most important for us was that we were able to observe the improve of the general health status of the animal. Anything is standing at this moment. Anything is modifying the behavior of the animal. In 2015, we developed the first research projects. Pure coincidence, because the first was with Saint TA, with CNS, and we know very well and standard profile of the derivation of the words that make. Postbiotics, isolated microorganisms that we transform through a controlled fermentation process to obtain or to strain these benefits of the microorganisms as known metabolites, enzymes, amino acids, organic acids. At this moment, the European community was talking much more and more about the problem of the acquired immunodeficiency in human health. And one of the principal problems was precisely the preventive application of antibiotics. We took this goal and designed a very ambitious project in different animal species, in different countries, with internationalization ambition, sure. And we was the first company of Navarra, from Navarra, that get it, and one of the first Spanish companies in obtaining this award of that. We worked researching along 2 years to get, at the end, a very complete range of products. Objective principle, preventive, but also we are able nowadays to prevent, determinate situations or actions the animal in front of the different pathogens, E. coli, coccidias, etc. During the 2019, we make a very important effort in trade, and nowadays we are working here in the international market, in Italy, in Portugal, in Mexico, and we hope for the end of this year working in Costa Rica, Morocco, and also Germany. It's a very fast way, we know, but it's because perhaps the condition of the markets, the wishes of the market for this kind of work is just now, because it's not a goal, it's a necessity of the modern society. Today, we are able to not only to research, we are able to design a product in MESA to different applications, but also trade, but the most important, we are also to translate the research to an industrial scale. We are able to manufacture, we are autosufficient. And that is very important not only for us, it's only very important for Europe, but well, is the next question, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Goyo. Now we have Mariano. I know you are doing great things in NUCAP, so please tell us a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Bosco. Good evening to everyone. And thank you to Biospain for giving the chance of being in this table. So interesting table. Okay, NUCAPS improves people's health as we help to produce better supplements, drugs, and foods by making nutritional ingredients stable, easy to absorb, healthy, and natural. We are experts in research, development, and contract manufacturing, expert in encapsulation of bioactive ingredients and microorganisms using food proteins. Our final product is a dry powder that could be compressed, filled in a sachet or in a pill, or incorporated into any food, liquid, or beverage, as the capsules have thermal resistance. These capsules we design work as natural carriers of the ingredients into the body, protecting from external conditions and gastric conditions. We are a company founded here in Navarra and shared by the CNTA, the University of Navarra, and also a pharmaceutical company, ED Pharma. Imagine all the possibilities we can give encapsulating different substances, ingredients, probiotic bacteria, etc. I would like to explain later on our proposal for the future of food, in which biotechnology is sure that has to play a very important, a main role in the future of food.
Thank you, Mariano. Now we have Sabas from Tebrio.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I don't know if you are hearing me.
I think it's okay.
Tebrio is a company that was founded in 2014. We want to be global leaders in the use of sustainable industrial solutions for the based in insects for the industry. We mainly breed insects in an industrial scale and transform them into high-value products for several customers. We transform the insects into a protein, also into oil. We use the cuticle of the adults to produce chitosan, and also we are producing a fertilizer based in the frass of the insect. We were the first company in Europe that was approved to make or to produce raw materials for feed in the whole Europe, and probably one of the companies that were approved in the world, one of the first companies approved in the world. Our vision is to try to redefine the value chains and try to reestablish the natural balance we have lost while the industry has been growing. We produce sustainable products that are very scalable, and we are one of the main players in the sector of insect breeding and transforming.
Great, thank you, Sabas. And finally, myself, as I said before, I'm Bosco. I'm the CEO of Biotech. We are a pretty young company. We don't have even a year. And why we decided to create this company? The society and the world is facing a huge global concern, as you probably know. 80% of global deforestation is the result of agricultural expansion. 77% of the agricultural land is used to produce animal feed, and today's food industry is the most contaminating industry in the world, and it causes 24% of global GHG emissions. And this is why we wanted to create a global, a disruptive, and a sustainable solution. And our solution is to produce a high-value protein by transforming food waste and byproducts from the industry through a fermentation process optimized by artificial intelligence. And how we do that? This is our process. We take those raw materials, those side streams from the industry, and we design and we create low-cost and sustainable growth mediums. We optimize all the process with artificial intelligence and data sets, and then we transform those nutrients, those raw materials, thanks to our fermentation process and thanks to our microbes, into a high-value protein ingredient that we introduce again in the food industry and in the society. And we are already working with big companies that want to substitute animal protein, some synthetic ingredients that they are using already in the food industry, and we are working deeply with the meat industry, the dairy industry, the snacks industry, to create a industry more sustainable and healthy. And I'm happy to announce that we have just signed our first, if we have less than a year since we were born, we have just signed our seed round and 1.5 million euros. And we are going to use that amount of money to scale our process and to enter into the industry. So now, well, I have a lot of questions to ask you, but first of all, how do you impact the food industry, the society, with your biotech, with your technological solutions? Who wants to start? Okay, Javier.
Okay, I hope that now the sound goes well. Well, in Cocos, as I said earlier, we developed the technology. So our impact is to take their knowledge, their ingredients, and be able to produce a product that the consumer will like. So we put the focus mainly in two goals: mimicry. So we pursue and we reach that the end product looks like the original that we want to create. So if we want to create a vegan bacon or a bacon without animals, the end result has to look like the ones that the consumers are expecting. And the other goal was scalability. We started from the beginning with that as a main goal, because there are many companies in the world trying to do new products out of alternative foods or without animals, but they roughly end up doing little chicken fingers or hamburgers, which is okay. I mean, it's a good start point, and they play a big role in having the regulations for the markets and the society, but we come up with a solution for different geometries and different capabilities. In the previous image I already was showing, we are also trying with fish, and our expectation is that our machines can take the different proteins that people might develop or is developing, and even with capsules and promote new food that doesn't have to come from animals, and even can be even healthier, because the processes are more controlled, and also there will need less resources out of the planet, which is on top of the priority in all of our work.
Thank you. So Ines, how are you impacting?
No, this is really a challenging project, and we know firsthand that they are doing great. So really congratulations, Javier. So from CNTA, well, we are a food tech center. We really, our big effort is in building knowledge, in developing technology, in developing knowledge, in being really on the edge of these key enabling technologies. Like biotech is really one of our main expertises, I will say. And we really are looking to find a way to speed up, to help really companies to speed up their time to market. As most of you commented, really the point in which a development has to scale up and goes through this death valley in having to increase investment and still with high risk, we really try to support from a technological point of view. And I would like to say that in the last years, I don't know, something like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, most of the innovation in food was in the big corporate companies. That were the ones who had big R&D budgets and really with the people and knowledge to really face disrupting projects. And we are seeing that things are changing a lot. We have today here 5 startups, perhaps, or small companies which are really fighting and getting really to wonderful results. So we also believe there. So we are participating as a technological partner in many accelerating process and really being good companions for startups. So I think it's also a way to change the food landscape.
Yes, totally agree, Ines. And I think we were one of the lucky companies that you work with. We have been working with CNTA for the last months, and also with Double Adventures, which is the accelerator program that I have shared with Cocos. And yes, definitely, to work with a technological center like CNTA when you are in a very early stage, it was a great decision for us. So totally agree with you. And what about you, Sabas?
Goyo.
Sorry.
Don't mind. Well, for us, really, it's keep on in the same way that we are working. The slogan that you see that is healthy animals feed healthy people is really very well identified with the capacity of our work to support, to give to the future of the food. I said before that we are a very fundamental piece in the motor of the microbiota, of the intestinal microbiota of the animals. But our application is essentially collaborative. It's not intrusive. So really, it's an example to understand easy that a motor of the car. The motor of the car could be very well designed with a lot of capacity of velocity, but the base of that is that it needs oil, it needs water, it needs brakes, liquid. We constitute really that with the metabolites, with the enzymes, amino acids, organic acids. Really, we are the third point of the food channel, because we are working and get the best or the healthy activity of the new animal. So if we are able to develop that, we reach the final objective for all together. That is a food for our head, food, an excellent food, and for the healthy people. No?
Thank you. Now, Sabas, please. Sorry about that.
No. So, the same order that we had done before. No, it's okay, Sabas.
Okay.
Well, I think I was the last
Yeah.
before him, but no troubles. Well, what are we doing for the people? We are using the byproducts of a lot of companies, just these raw materials that are not being used to feed animals, or that are an excess and are being treated as waste to feed animals that are able to produce better products while they are more sustainable. Yeah? Our CO2 emissions are around 90% less than traditional livestock emissions. Our global cycle, which is circular, and we try to use all the products we have while we are breeding these insects, could be a negative carbon print cycle. So we are working on this, and this is something that could help the other companies that are in the feed sectors. We are not trying to take out the animals from the equation. We are trying to feed the animals in a more sustainable way and also a more natural way. If you think about it, just a fish or a bird are eating insects in the environment, yeah. And we are trying to put this kind of products in the food chain to make people to be able to eat better products, more sustainable products, and also to improve the health of the animals and also the plants we are working with our fertilizers.
Yeah, great. So totally agree. I said before the animals out of the equation. That's something that is happening, but it's like a little thing of the food industry. It's not scalable at the moment, and maybe it's something that happens.
I think we will need the animals to be able to survive.
Yes, of course. Sure.
And Mariano, what about you? How are you impacting in the society?
Okay, first of all, I'll also like to be grateful with CNTA because they are also our technological partners, and Ines could be my mother in that sense, but I better say my sister because I'm sure she's younger than me. Okay, our impact. You all are aware, I'm sure, that diet-related illnesses, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, are now the main cause of the largest cause of death in Western countries. About 20% of deaths worldwide are linked in some way with one of these illnesses and with a poor diet. And 80% of the population cannot afford and cannot access to a healthy diet. This, together with an increasing interest in improving immunological system and health through nutrition, has increased worldwide the demand for functional food and drinks, nutraceuticals, diet supplements, etc. But for producers, for manufacturers, in fact, it's a challenge to include those ingredients because they have a low stability or have a unpleasant taste or even have no real effect on health, and they are very expensive. And nanoencapsulation is our solution, increases the absorption of an ingredient by up to 30 times. Can be done for 70% less cost. And we can increase shelf life of a bacteria from a few days to several months. That's our impact. And I would like to present our concrete proposal for the future of food, maybe now or maybe later.
What?
Yes, we have a concrete proposal for the future of nutrition. Yeah. Do you want me to present it?
Okay, yes, okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Our proposal for the future of nutrition are microencapsulated probiotic bacteria, encapsulated in food proteins, in natural proteins, and tailor-made to be used in food mattresses, like powder, dairy, bakery, or even drinks. And they are half cost, they are natural, and we have proven more efficiency and more efficacy. And why they are more stable and why they are more useful is because the thermal resistance in storage during manufacturing processes and in storage of final product. So we can make possible the real presence of probiotic so that we can improve and help to solve microbiota problems and a better digestive wellness, and then improving people's health.
Great. So I have another question for you.
Yeah.
And is how are you going to contribute to the future of food in 2030? But I have another question.
Yeah.
How do you see we all are like small companies and a technological center. And my second question is, how do you see the industry is changing for this 2030 food industry? So Mariano, start again.
I'm sure we are going to find personalized products. I think it's a goal from the industry to create personalized products, not only for concrete groups of people with concrete diseases, but also for the vegans. It's a big trendy, the plant-based. We are also working with the plant-based industry to fulfill those nutritional gaps that the plant-based are having. So we encapsulated B12, for example, for vegans. Another trend that is really important is from my point of view, is the gut health, the probiotic, modern life, stress, contamination, etc., are having a bad impact in our gut and in our microbiota. And also, probiotics are going to be a big trend. I think plant-based and probiotics could be the main trends in the industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. Probiotics, it's a pity because I feel really that in Europe we are a little bit back in comparison with the rest of the world, which is going much quicker going on this sense. So I think, yeah, it will also be here in some years, and people, I think, is more and more conscious about it. Yeah.
And there is a huge difference between Spain and other countries. And when you're talking with a corporate about probiotics, in Spain, the only aim is to labeling probiotic containing. And in Europe and in the States, they are thinking about concrete properties of the probiotic. Which problem are we going to solve? Immunological problem, sugar in blood, hypertension, whatever. And they are more concerned about which strain of which family of probiotics are you going to use. That's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. This is a nice next step that should be coming in very quickly.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And the second question, Ines, how do you see the big companies are changing?
Yeah, well, I talked a little bit about this before, and it's true. I mean, big companies and more looking around, and not just looking into themselves, but looking around and really being very aware of what are startups doing around. And well, it took some time, but they all have realized, I think, that most of the novelties, most of the new ideas will come from them. So another thing, we really believe it's already here, but it will come even harder, is that collaboration in food industry will increase. Will increase because with such a big challenges we have in front of us, all this, when you see all these numbers that most of you have been talking about, are you really frightened about what's coming up in the next year? So I think collaboration will be also a key word in the future.
Definitely. And what about you, Sabas? What do you think? How are you going to contribute to the future of food? And then what do you see in the big industries that you are working with?
I see that we are talking about the world, but we are only thinking in our piece of the world. Okay, so I think the main issue is to be able to feed all the people in the planet. I think this is the main issue. It's not about labeling the food or the barrel of the food, and not about these troubles we have with technology. It's about the great thing, the big issue is how are we going to be able to feed all the people in the planet with the resources we have. And sometimes we are looking at the tree and we are losing all the view, okay? So, well, what are we trying to do? We are trying to make all the food chain more sustainable, just to reduce this footprint, to be more sustainable. And the big companies we are working with, they know that they have to use sustainable products in their production lines, and also they know they have to try to use all the new things that are coming from the startups, and just these technologies like encapsulation, or also this fermentation of probiotics, or also your technologies. And I think that we will be able to fix the trouble, to fix the issue. But this thing needs that all of us collaborate with this objective. Okay, and well, I have some other notes, but it's not about what we can do. It's what we all of us can do to solve the issue. Okay.
And one question, what kind of waste are you using to feed your...
Yeah, well, we are using cereal byproducts as the main part of the diet, but we are working with these cereal byproducts that are not being used for other livestock. Okay? So the waste of the waste, or the byproduct of the byproduct. Yeah? And also trying to put in the game just vegetal residues that are being treated as waste. We use them for heat in pellets or something, these kind of things. And well, we are having very low quality products that are in the market, and we get very high quality products that can be used to be encapsulated, or to be or to go into other kind of products. Yeah, at this moment we are trying to work with this your platform and try to use. Well, we know some peptides from our protein are good for diabetes, and we are working with these peptides, but we are obtaining them from very low value byproducts. Okay, just using the insects as a medium, but not as our end product. Okay.
Okay, so it's great that you are solving also a problem that the industry has, using those byproducts and waste that they can even use for anything, right? So Javier, how are you contributing to the future of food?
Well, let's talk about the future later, but as of today, we are already working on, as Mariano said, on improving and customizing foods. We are developing purees for elder people or for hospital people who has problems with dysphagia and are not appeal of eating purees every day. So healthy way of food is one of the branches, but also the goals on climate change are a major goal. It's a huge problem we face if we don't solve it. And the other day, we were, well, the world now is smaller than we think. We were talking with some people in the Emirates, and they told us, okay, you have a huge problem here with water, and water will be a huge problem everywhere. It's just a matter of time. And I say, a cow, let's make a rough number, needs 100 liters of water per day, and 90% of that goes in waste, or either to grow different parts of the cow that we are not going to eat, or just cow peas. So can you make a factory in which you don't need the cows and you end up with meat products, meat alternative products? Let's say we will see how we name it, and we say yes, that is 2030. So that is our end goal.
Great. So when do you see your equipment or your technology in a scale phase?
We roughly scale up the machines. I mean, the technologies for doing the bioreactors and such, we will partner up with people, with experts, and that is the next step. Plant-based is already here. Spain is a bit slower than the rest of Europe or the States, but every day we can see in the supermarkets more and more plant-based products. Insects will be also the future, but cultivating and growing cells, either for fish or for meat, in bioreactors, in factories that don't need so many resources and don't need animals more than some cells. Okay, we still have to get some cells from the animals, but not killing there, are also not using them in the whole chain that uses soil, food, and water resources. So that is the goal for 2030. That is what we seek.
And what about the last question? How are you partnering the industry, or how do you see the industry, the meat industry, is changing?
Well, partnering is really important because we cannot reinvent the wheel. We are a small company, we're a small startup. Nowadays, we start feeling as a company because we are also finishing Series A round and such. but we need to partner with major companies to help us either sell the machines, or if we develop some product, they might do their job to develop, to distribute. And the time is now. I mean, we have to go as fast as possible because the market really is demanding it.
Yeah. And what about you, Goya?
They throw a correct message, and each proposal is good because the way is common, but we have to work below the same umbrella, and this umbrella is Europe. And Europe is working now in the Green Deal, the famous Green Deal. But what about Green Deal if we are able to work about with the reference of the sustainability, but Europe is not able to be autosufficient in the food production? First of all, the most important, very clear objectives, goals from Europe, that Europe is working on that. So it's sure, is working on it. Second, at this moment, the principal food production is the livestock and agriculture. Is evident, but so it's very important. Last period of time, you are hearing a lot of messages about don't eat meat of animals. Don't. For me, at this moment of our company, this kind of message is really a snob. Is don't know is not conscious of the reality of the market at this moment. So it's very important at this moment not only the sustainability of the livestock, it's only the people that work about this subject. The last period of time, the people is talking about the España vaciada. Sorry, because I don't know how to say in English. But I'm sure that this exists, the Great Britain vaciada, and Alemania vaciada, and Italy vaciada. And forget that the most inherent instrument to maintain the rural medium is the people that live here. And the principal word for him is agriculture and livestock. Only with this objective, you are able to get livestock with 35 cows, 85 cows, that they are a very good business. But if you are working in a market that demands from you more and more just now, but a very high level of production and very, very high level of competitivity with very low prices, where is the future? Germany, France is working on it now, and you know very different platforms of livestock that is working to get that and to try to recognize the work that made in the market. But the third reference is altogether the responsibility of the people that consume the final product. If you go to, I don't know, it's the same, but a very great channel of distribution of food, and you are paying 0.60 cents per liter of milk, you have to make a lot of questions about that. Because if you want that milk of your production or the livestock is producing, where is the sustainability of that? If the livestock is impossible to maintain this production at this price. So the responsibility, the social responsibility of the final consumer is the base of the future of the food. Mm-hmm. Every agent, each agent is working. So in the high-tech industries, every people, the 5 companies that we are, every people is working on it. But you need a global objective. So.
Yes, I'm not all agree with you, but there's another thing that is happening in the food industry the people from the pharmaceutical industry is going to the food industry to develop all these biotech solutions for the future of food. But the thing is, well, we all are talking about we need to be sustainable, we need new ingredients, new proteins. But in Europe, I think it's going very slowly, and many companies that are working in the food tech space are running out from Europe. They are going to Singapore, Asia, they are going to Israel, United States. And the problem with proteins, with in the food industry, is going to be in those markets, because they are going to grow much more than the population than in Europe. And the thing is, again, the market is going to be there. We have the technology to develop those solutions, but the regulation in Europe, for example, with the recombinant proteins and with others, goes very slowly.
Mariano explained very well. The market is not only Europe or the complete market as Asia, China. What is happening with the countries that is in development? They have a lot of necessities. They don't have any possibilities of that. What is the objective of any market? I told about Europe, but what is the objective if you are trying to implant the sustainability process? Perfect. But it's impossible to give protein for the whole Europe at this moment if you're working with other alternatives. And at this moment, what kind of way is possible to adopt for Europe? Import other meats, other products from other countries, other markets with sustainability process? No, it's the same food that you are going to eat in 2030. So we are a market that's really is privilegious to work here, that is Europe. But at the beginning, first of all, you have to work here in Europe to develop the complete system. Afterwards, you can work with other possibilities. But at this moment, it's Europe, your home.
Well, that's why many companies are traveling to other countries.
I'm trying to work in the abroad, sure. But the future, at this moment, to implant a health food, for us, is Europe.
What do you think?
But no USA or but no Asia at this moment. Europe is your reference. Why not?
The investment we are taking is mostly from abroad. I mean, even a few companies in Europe are interested nowadays. Or
Germany,
they don't value our
Denmark,
company
Sweden.
as much as the American ones or Australian ones. So there should be a focus on Europe to promote ingredients and products from Europe, just to not rely on other markets. And in the long run, it is one of the goals of Europe.
But anyway, corporates are global. You can work with a corporate based in Europe, but their market and their partners are global. So we are, in fact, if you are working with Nestlé, you are not working in Europe.
What do you think, Sabas?
Well, I'm new in this biotechnology legislation. Not in the insect one. Yeah, because well, I think we must try to work together to try to advocate for this legislation change you are claiming. Okay, and well, that's something that I don't know why, but the insect people or insect companies did 5 years ago, and that's the reason we are seeing these changes in the press that just this insect protein were approved for fish and for pets several years ago. Later on, you have the novel food approval. Now, 1 month ago, the Commission decides to approve insect protein for pork and poultry, and this is the job of 50 companies that are working together, which, well, all of us are competitors, but we have the same goal, and we were doing this 5 years ago, 6 6 years ago, sorry, and try to work together with the European Commission, with all the authorities. In this case, it was EFSA, and we try to explain how our products are being obtained, and if they are safe or not, which troubles they find. And I think that biotech sector must work in this way, just to try to push together to be able to open the market in Europe and to be able to make faster the improvement of new products, like we did with novel food.
I have a question for Sebas, may I, Mr. Moderator? Sure. This a question I'm curious about. Do vegans or will vegans accept products coming from insects?
This question,
it's a real question that the corporate...
Last time I heard this question was yesterday, coming to here in the radio. Yeah. And I think nobody knows how it will be, okay? Because I don't really know if vegans are considering this animal suffering or not, or I don't really know. I can explain that.
I don't know where the animal consideration starts, because a corporate asked the same question, but about probiotics, if using bacteria could be acceptable for vegans. In fact, they are animals.
It's not animal, so...
Bacteria is an animal. Maybe a yeast could be between animal and vegetable.
You didn't say it's an animal, but...
I think it's difficult because the thing is not really about if they are animals or not. I think that there are another questions that are not the main questions. They're looking for an answer that we cannot give them. And I don't know if they will be suitable for vegans or not, but I think we are doing a good thing. Yeah. And I'm not taking care of this.
Yeah. No, I agree with you that is a big uncertainty, because there are many consumer studies on acceptance on lab-grown meats or single-cell proteins or etc. But the point is that until you get to the market with real product, when you do consumer surveys, just based in intentions, which is your intention, they can even prove or taste the products in these consumer surveys. The results are really, you have to put it in...
Surprising or?
Well, I don't know. The last one I heard is that about 50% of European public is ready to try lab-grown meats, right? Yeah. It doesn't mean that they will accept it, but they will be curious to taste or ready to taste. And but it's true that there is a big uncertainty about consumers' acceptance, and again, it's going to be one of the risks of all these alternative proteins.
So, as we can see, there are many challenges in the food industry, in this new food industry that we are building. The bad thing, well, not bad thing, we are small companies, but the great thing is that we are already working with the big players in the industry. And what we all agree is that we need to do things in a different way. We have the technology and the opportunity to create a sustainable and a healthy food system. So let's do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bosco.
Dile que yo no voy a salir ahora. No.